Let's bring in now Niall Stanage, White House columnist with our partners at The Hill. Niall, thank you so much for your time. The president's saying we will provide ammunition, interceptors, will strengthen our deterrence there in the region. Talk about how crucial our support is for Israel right now.
Oh, I mean, American support for Israel is absolutely pivotal. It has been the case throughout the entire history of the State of Israel that American support is pivotal. Now, in this particular moment, I think it was notable that the president put so much stress on replenishing Israeli armaments, making sure that there would be no shortfall there, talking about Iron Dome, the now, I suppose, famous, if we can use that word, deterrent by which Israel can intercept rockets and missiles fired in its direction. So this is obviously a pivotal issue and a central part of what was a very emotive and emotional speech by President Biden.
Absolutely. And, you know, we've seen so much chaos. We've seen people truly living a nightmare. But we also know that there is blame, and fingers being pointed. And one big focus on that, the administration pushing back on claims that prisoner swap with Iran last month helped fuel this. But, there was plenty of criticism, certainly from GOP lawmakers, about that $6 billion involved in the agreement. Are you surprised that the president did not acknowledge that during his comments today?
I'm not surprised. Now, the question of whether he should or shouldn't is for our viewers to determine. But I think there are a couple of points there, Nichole. One is that, as you're aware, both the United States government and the Israeli government has said that they do not have direct evidence of Iranian planning or involvement in this hideous attack on Saturday. So that's one part of this. The second part is the hostage deal that you refer to. Now, I don't want to relitigate every argument, but again, as you're aware, the administration's position is that $6 billion was Iranian funds, it was unfrozen, and it is to be used only for humanitarian purposes. Critics say, well, that's all very well, but money is, after all, fungible. If Iran doesn't have to spend that $6 billion because it's unfrozen, then it has obviously money that is free for other purposes.
Absolutely. Obviously, such a precarious situation, Niall. Things changing by the day. We do know there is certainly bipartisan support for the U.S. to support Israel. The president there saying that he has been in contact with Congress. But, talk about how, having no House Speaker right now, Congress is on recess. Talk about how that impacts America's response.
It impacts it in a couple of ways. On the symbolic level, it makes it much, much more cumbersome for the House of Representatives to do something as comparatively slight as issue a resolution abhorring the attack that we saw on Saturday. The bigger question is obviously aid to Israel. Now, that will only become an issue over a certain period of time because the United States provides more than $3 billion of aid per year to Israel, and that money is already there. The question is, as we move toward a new footing where perhaps additional aid is being sought, how does that work if you have no speaker? Final point, just quickly, Nichole. I think the issue of not having a speaker is part of a bigger picture of American political dysfunction. And to be perfectly frank, America's adversaries take, I think, a measure of comfort, if not glee, from the various elements of that dysfunction.
Absolutely. And there are certainly, added concerns when it comes to that as well. Niall Stanage, we certainly appreciate your time with reaction after President Biden did address the American public and the world concerning the war in Israel. Niall, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.